his corner come fight night, and then afterwards he might go back to work with Derek James in America. What do you make of all of that talk of his trainer for him?
I don't understand that. You know, I understand him using Ben Davison's gym to whilst he's here in the UK. And maybe, and I hope it's not the mistake he's making, thinking, well, it's not a toughie, so you know what, Ben, you come in the corner with this one. He wants to look at every fight as every heavyweight has got one shot. So I don't know, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth, I don't know what the situation is in regards to him and Ben Davison. That's his call.
And those are the words of Johnny Nelson as you guys heard him respond to the idea that Anthony Joshua is now with Ben Davison. I think, if anything, Ben Davison is a pretty decent trainer that had to fight through adversity of haters and people speaking against him, you know, like John Fury and others that didn't think that he was qualified to train and to lead Tyson Fury back in the championship status, okay? But he proved people wrong. He did. You know, even though the last meeting or training with Tyson Fury was with Otto Bailey, he's still deemed to be or have the reputation of training other fighters. Like recently he trained Devin Haney. Devin Haney was in his corner and he did really good with Devin Haney. And but then Anthony Joshua has began his career training with Derek James. Derek James is like a career trainer, and he was trainer of the year last year. And like I told you guys, I always thought the reason AJ went with Derek James was simply political. He went with the guy that was most likely to succeed based on what he was doing and what his fighters were doing. The accomplishments of his fighters normally reflects the trainer and vice versa. Okay, so if you have a trainer that's always got guys losing, nobody really wants to go with him, okay? In comparison to last year, trainer of the year, all the winning guys, Errol Spence, Frank Martin, Jermell Charlo, okay? Now you got a comparison to this year. This year, you don't have this. Both of those guys. Frank Martin had a scare. Errol Spence got the dog shit beat out of him. And Jermell Charlo ran. Okay, and I don't think none of those, well, I can't say none of those, but I don't think the Jermell Charlo or the Frank Martin losses were totally on Derek James. And I think that a lot of people, and since that happened, I think, you know, AJ's crawfished back on out of this picture simply because he's seen politically on how the shift in accomplishments have changed for Derek James comparing to last year. Okay, so that's what I think that is. However, I don't understand it either, because I wouldn't do that, because it's not about other fighters. It shouldn't be a political call. And I think if AJ needed somebody, and if he just wanted Ben Davison, he should have went with Ben Davison when having the opportunity to go with Ben Davison before Derek James. Because, see, there's a lot of things that has to be either undone or relearned, or, you know, a lot of things have to happen when you're dealing with another trainer, and you're taking all of this info and this style that you've got from Derek James. And we know AJ's not a guy, obviously, that takes stuff and he learns on the way. It's like with him, he has to empty everything out in order to regain whoever's training him. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that, you know, you could tell are like, well, this AJ doesn't do what this last AJ was doing easily when he was with Rob McCracken. Okay, and then with Robert Garcia, I don't really know body punching. You know what I mean? And so like with AJ, he's only comfortable with one type of style. So therefore, changing styles is not a good idea. It's not. It's not a good idea for him to change styles. It's not a good idea for him to keep switching up guys. This is his fourth person. Rob McCracken, Robert Garcia, Derek James, and now Ben Davison. So you're looking at a person that, you know, like Reynoso, Eddie said, He said, "Well, I don't want to deal with anyone that jumps that many trainers. I wouldn't feel comfortable AJ coming over here if he did come over here because I wouldn't like that. You know, we're a tighter unit over here. They got winners, they got losers over there, but they stay pretty much. Now, he has Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has recently went with Derek James, and maybe AJ looked at that. Well, okay, he's a loser coming over here, so we don't know how valuable he is. Errol Spence is done or got beat. Jermell Charlo got beat. So then, okay, where does it leave me? Well, it should lead from the progress of what he was teaching you. You know, it's not easy to just switch trainers. But I'll say this. If AJ feels that this is the great move and he feels mentally that this is good, so be it. But I'm saying normally, that's not the right way to go. To change trainers and pretty much got to relearn something that, you know, someone else has taught you. Now, I will say this. AJ is a person, you know, I think he feels that confidence from being with Ben Davison. Maybe Ben Davison showed him something that Derek James didn't show him. You know, you can't unsay what you said, people. AJ said, well, hey, American fighters, you know, if you don't like it, go to fuck home. This is harder. So he's saying American training is harder, more stringent. So, you know, could we read into the fact that maybe Derek was training him a little too hard, maybe? Blisters on his feet and shit like that. Remember? His feet. So I think if anything, that may be one of the reasons. But, you know, Ben Davison might gel better with AJ and just decided. And who doesn't want to train AJ? Because what comes with AJ comes with money, opportunity. Okay, so yeah, the facility was one enough, but the bonus is training them in the facility. So you get the rent fee, then you get the side fee, okay, for the corner. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Johnny Nelson stating he does not understand why Anthony Joshua went with Ben Davison instead of Derek James. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!